Well, hello everyone, and welcome once again to KingPittdawg Racing. I am Kevin. We're back on for the last shot here at Nations Cup. I've had a 13th and a 5th, and we'll hope to improve on that. Just making sure this thing's working. Looks like it's working, so we're good to go here. And this is Nations Cup at Watkins Glen. And we are in the absolutely blast to drive RA272 1965 F1 car for Honda. And I will get into VR here as we go into qualifying. So it'll take just a moment here while I get set up. So you'll see a blue screen real quick because I do not have my VR set yet. So bear with me just a moment. Alright, you're probably getting a blue screen right now, so hang tight as I gotta get the look around here to get everything to set. There we go. Alright. Let everybody get out there. There we go. Okay. Alright, feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, we got everything good. Alright, headphones on, here we go. Alright. Try to stay off these curbs. This thing does not like curb contact. Alright, we'll settle in here. Tires take a good lap to get fully heated up, so you gotta be really careful. You gotta really push it on this out lap here. I think I ran a 155 something earlier as my best lap in qualifying. Get on it. Here we go. All right, we're on the clock. Here we go. Really hard to get it right where you can stay flat foot here, because you get so close to that wall there. I may have shifted a little early there, but we're catching somebody here. I was hoping not to do that. Woo! Ooh, that's what I didn't want to do. Ooh, I think I screwed this lap up. Here we go. If I slide there and go to second, it seems to correct it a little bit, so I've learned that over the course of a couple of races I ran. There are corrections with this thing. You don't completely kill your lap if you lose the line a little bit. If this throttle pedal was better, I'd really have a better control. And this, I've really got to bite the bullet and get some new pedals for sure. Well, that gets Alpha out of my way there. Whew. Oh, I lost it somewhere in that lap. Here we go, last shot. Alright, let's get it here. Come on. Oh, there's somebody coming back out. Oh, it's Neil. What's up, Neil? Not good right now, I guess. I shouldn't ask him that. Neil, one of my first friends on GT7 here when we started this. In fact, it might have been GT Sport. I hope I didn't push it too hard there. Let's see where we're at. We're getting a little better here. Ah, man, I thought I'd do better than that. Dagnabbit. 154.1, that's pretty good. Here's Egon, I gotta remember to say hi to him out here. Project B. Oh, Braytech, okay. Fear Nothing, John West, okay. Neil. Got a lot of people to say hi to here. Seventh so far. We'll see if that holds up. I don't know. A lot of the people that are still running are ahead of me, so that's good. But we still got 5, I think, running. So we'll see how this comes out here. We got a minute, roughly. Lucky Alpha. Oh, they ended up running a pretty good lap. Man, that was pretty good because they were all over the place. Well, so far so good. We got Egon still running, Ian. We had a really good race, what was that? Man, it just seems like it was just yesterday, and it's been three days already. Alright, we did it. We stayed in the top 7 there, so that's pretty good. This is not as close as the last one, and the split is a little less. So let's say hi to everybody here. Let's see if I can remember everybody. Braytech. Who was the other one? Neil. Alright, as we work our way down here. Get some gum so I'm not grinding my teeth. I'm trying to do this in VR here. Let's see. It's kind of hard. I'm doing this all by... It's Dentine Fire. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It is the last chance today. Round 2 here in the Gran Turismo World Series Nations Cup. We are driving for Team USA. We're driving the 1965 Honda RA272 Formula 1 car. Here we go. And we're coming to you live from Northern Illinois, USA, and virtually from Watkins Glen International Raceway in New York. On our home turf here, Team USA. Let's go through the field. 154.1, that's really good. That's a 7/10 difference between first and second. And another 5/10. 654, 718. There we are, 746. .337. It is pretty tight back here. Those guys were way fast. John West's been racing with them since GT Sport. I know that. Neil. All right, let's make sure we get our settings right here. And thank you to Covert for telling me about the tip on the settings there. All right, we're going to come out and the car will jump into VR right before we get the 3, 2, 1 here.
4-leaf clover.
Wow, thank you very much. Don't forget, next weekend, Friday and Saturday, is HECS Event 3. Around the Earth, a quad event. 4 races, 4 tracks, and 2 different cars. We're going to take it a little easy into turn 1 here because of the cold tires. We're going to do a little bit of a lift right there, just to get this first lap, because so we don't slide like that guy just did behind me. I'm going to take a defensive line here, just going into the chicane. Ooh, man, that was close. I felt it get loose there. We got somebody off track here. I can't look and see who it is, but... Oh, it's Ian. Let this guy go. He's kind of pushing the... Ian's going to have a penalty here, so... Got a couple guys with penalties. It's going to just really tighten things up here going into this corner. Have to swing it wide a little bit. I didn't want to run anybody over there. Keep it tight here. Somebody to the inside here. Hopefully he'll... Alright, looks like we got a little space behind us here as we go into turn 1, so we can concentrate on our entry. Ooh, that's the problem. You slide it right there and it's all over. Cost you a second just in lost grip there. Shifted a little early there to keep that tight. Make that pass. Alright, so we're up to 6th. After that. Woo! Going to 3rd, give a little bit of traction there. Wish this was a longer race, you could cruise a little bit. Alright. Be halfway home here, the back stretch. Now we should be able to stay wide open here. As I get the angle right here, there we go. Push it all the way to the 400 here now. Woo! Oh, she got a little bit away from me there. Oh, he lost it. Oh! Man, I kind of screwed up my exit there. I got some pressure. We're going to stay defensive here on the inside. Gonna kill my straightaway a little bit, but I'm still gonna have a good entry. Still got him now. He got through me there. Ooh, this is gonna be tight here. Two to go. That's a really short race. A little lift there and try to stay inside of these guys. Man, this is tight. Holy crap. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Shit. That was freaking crazy. Come on, stick, baby, stick. Come on. Go get him, John. I'll follow you through. Ooh, I cut that a little tight. One to go, coming by the stripe this time, and we are tight. That's all the way up to third, I think. We got a good run out there. Almost missed the shift there. Hit the rev limiter. Almost. Just stayed off of it. How did he not file his penalty to get another one? Well, he lost it. Alright, John, I'm going to have to make a move on you. Oh, ah, shit. Ah, I lost it. God damn it. Son of a bitch. Damn it. Come on, get into reverse. I can't see what gear I'm in. Oh, I'm in the wrong... This is the problem with VR. You can't see that. I couldn't tell what gear I was in. Ah, man, this sucks. Ah, man, I screwed that up. Dagnabbit. Car's still not turning. I think it's healed now, but that wasn't a good entry there. Bam. I was trying to go in that chicane light, and when I did, I wasn't going fast enough. Car didn't slip, and it just went whoosh. These cars, you're kind of like a controlled slide all the time. Oh well, life goes on, I guess. I wish there was another one. Ah, that sucks. 20 seconds on that lap I lost. Oh well. Where is it at? Where's the... Oh. Ah, he left. Shoot.
Good luck.
Hey, thanks. Well, I had a negative loss on that one because I had a 13th and a 15th. Ugh. Blah, blah. Thanks, Makoto. Appreciate that.
The race is over.
No, you're good, man. I'm going to go through my replays here because I'm having too many problems with replays. Never understand polyphony. Yeah, why the hell does this race only need 5 laps? Seriously, it's supposed to be Nations Cup, and this is like a race. That's it for this time. That was a fun race. I wish I would have had, you know, this is why we rescheduled the HECS, is because I just didn't. This is the earliest I would be able to get back on. So. And speaking of, don't forget next week, next Friday and Saturday, it is HECS event number 3. It is Spring Series event 3. Excuse me.
Is this next week?
Yes, sir. HECS event 3. We are at 4 tracks. It's our quad event, first quad event with the new format. So we'll be running 4 qualifying heat races and 4 main events. So the qualifying heat races are going to be worth almost as much as the main events. So it'll be one of those where it kind of even all the way across. So the main events, you can get 25 points, and of course online the qualifying heat races as always are 20 points each. Doesn't matter how many we have, it's 20 points each. There's always at least 3, because I like that 3 for the even. It kind of breaks up the field a little bit, just for because we base our main race qualifying, at least for the first race, on the average finish of the 3 qualifying heat races, with the qualifying for the first qualifying heat race being the tiebreaker. So it's pretty simple, actually. It's a lot of long words, but those who aren't familiar with our HECS, it's the Hobby E-Racing Challenge Series. It's an invitation only.
So next week gonna be super busy for me, aha. I might be a bit late.
Oh, no problem, sir. You know we'll always wait for everybody. I get it. Again, that's 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time on Friday and Saturday. I'm gonna try to do as best I can to give everybody with the Nations Cup races that are A drivers, the A series, or what do they call it? Tier 1. I can't remember what they. Oh, GT1. That's what it is. It's right there in front of me. Because that race is round 4 at full course reverse Lago Maggiore in the 917 Living Legend. I may or may not run that later in the day. See, with being in GT2, I get a lot more choices. I wish they would spread them out for the GT1 drivers. I don't think that's quite a good way to do it, keeping it all, because people are all over the place. If they're going to run less races, just split them up. Run one, mid-morning, like 10 a.m. my time, one early afternoon, like 2 p.m. my time, and then one, maybe 1, 2, and 3, or 1 or 2 in the evening. That's for the USA, or what do they call it, America's group. So that's where we're at. And again, we're running 4 races. We're gonna be at Autopolis, so we'll qualify. The first night we'll qualify and run qualifying heat race 1 based on the qualifying at Autopolis. Then after the finish of that, we'll do a die roll invert, so we'll roll the die, and however many, and again, there's rules on the dice. I'm not going to go into that right now, but whatever we turn up with, we'll invert. And again, we're doing a proper invert this season, because we were actually doing it wrong last season for most of the season. And so that'll be race 2, and that's going to be at Barcelona. Then race 3, we're going to come back over to the U.S., and we'll be on the West Coast at Big Willow. And then, again, another die roll invert. And we'll be going back to Mount Panorama, and we'll be in the HECS cars. So make sure you have 2 available, okay? I'm going to work with people, but I don't want to see the same cars. If you only have, one, we can work that in, 1 or 2, but you got to have at least 2. There's no reason. They're not that expensive to build. I've told everybody from the beginning you need to have like 5 cars ready. Just have 5 cars ready. We should be able to build 5 cars for 1 million credits, and you can run those forever. Because we're going to do the draft there, and I'm going to allow 2 of each car. And again, we're still kind of working our way through this whole thing with trying to get people cars. I don't want people to have to call out a car for the whole season, but that may be how it is for 2025, is you just basically call out cars, and then you can run those. You aren't broke. You probably got, 68 million credits? I got 12 because I can't not spend money. I just bought 2 of them. I can't remember what I bought. But yeah, for the HECS HECS cars, there's plenty of videos out there. I've touched. Yes, you're right. You are broke for a billionaire. Not broke for this game. All right, I've kept all these cars and not gotten in them intentionally so I can kind of review the list with everybody. I think I adjusted this livery pretty good on this car. I really like driving this thing. I remember I didn't even want to drive it in the time trial thing, and then I drove it and I'm like, oh, this car is a blast. This is the one I did the little pirouette flip. There should be a video somewhere about that one. It was really cool. It was the coolest flip I've done, and it actually carried me through it, which it usually kind of shuts it off. So ignore this one. This is my challenge car, and I've got it detuned a little bit, but it's got like 400 and because I got it under 600 pp here. So this is my fun challenge car, and again I got to go back and run this challenge because I didn't finish very well.
Race today. I didn't like driving the thing X3.
Oh, see, I like driving this thing. It really is. It's hard to get used to, but it's one of those where you can't like overdrive. You just got to avoid overdriving it. So, all right, let me go down the list, and we're going to start here. There are some other cars available, so if you don't see it on the list, reach out to me, and we'll make sure I'll get one. I've tried to build every single one I can, but all these cars should be set at like a base setting now. So the first car up there, right on the screen where the cursor is the GR Corolla Maurizio edition. That is the most modern car that we had, the most recent one that we could get. It's basically the same as the Yaris right here, but being a bigger car, it actually performances out better because you're not restricting it as much. Because the performance points on the Yaris are because it's lighter and a shorter wheelbase. So this car comes out pretty good.
Included.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we figured out. It was Demon, I think, who figured out the G70. So the Corolla Maurizio, and then we'll go down the list here, and I'm just going to try to keep the cursor on the left side here, just to make it easier for everybody. So the Civic Type R, almost all the Civic Type Rs, I think you can get in here. I tried to build them all, but the 22. Here, I'll just go through the list here. 22 Civic Type R, the FL5. Again, that car is pretty restricted, but it still comes out with pretty good PP level. The G70's, the performance points are down because of its restriction to get into the category. Again, this is a car I didn't even build because I didn't think it would make it, but it seems like some of the higher horsepower cars stock, because it's a percentage of the restriction you do. You do a percentage of the power restrictor and a percentage of the output. The higher horsepower cars, it seems like we can get those in the medium to high horsepower cars. So, and I'll go through the list here. So I'm just going to hit on the list since we don't have really anything pressing right now. Again, the G70, we were able to get it into the prototype status. And again, 254 horsepower, 2,800 pounds. The two Subiota twins, as you can see, I think the only difference with these two is I've got different settings on some things. The GR Yaris we already touched on. The Civic Type R. This is one of the special circumstances. The only way to get the GR Supra, the 2019 or 21, is to use the GR Supra RZ19 and engine swap it to a 2JZ. So this is a very expensive car to build because that's a 300,000 credit swap.
The lineup I sent you in the first place. I may try to squeeze the G70 in there if changes are allowed.
No, you can do whatever you want this year, Makoto, because this year we're kind of open. We're kind of experimenting and getting everybody into the cars and stuff. But next year I think I'm going to have like 5 cars. Well, so I appreciate you following what I was saying. So thank you on that. But again, some guys don't, are more casual, so they may not have all the cars. But I'm going to make sure I post up in there. Everybody should have probably 3 cars at the ready for next week, because, we're going to have to run 2. You have to run 50%, so you're going to have to run 2 and 2. So again, the GR Super 19 has the 2JZ swap in it. And the reason this car then fits in the performance, you can see it barely squeezes in the 616 limit, is because the 2JZ is so heavy. The engine itself is heavy. So that's why it fits into the slot. And then the Mazda, this one had to take, because this is an NA car, this had to take quite a bit of engine mods. So
you said minimum 5. I'll send you a new email to update the entry soon, X3.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, because, when we first started, and I know, Makoto, you did very well, because you're on it, and I appreciate that. But there's some people that like Cody and DJ and some of these other guys that don't run with us all the time. So I don't want to force them to feel like they got to sit out. So we'll kind of work with them. And, you know, I think we got right now about 13 guys running with us pretty consistently. And then we got a few guys that you know, scheduling-wise. But that's why I've got this 2 nights now. Is so, like, especially this weekend, qualifying is almost worth as much as the race. So you know, the main races. Because we're 25 points max for the main races and 20 points max for the qualifying races. So very, very close compared to 33 for a 3-car race for the main event max, and 50 for a, you know, a double, or 101 for the single races. So the qualifying heat race will always be there. It's always going to be 60 points apiece. So you get 120 points available. I'm sorry, 80 points available. Jeez, I can't add in my head anymore. Living in the world of calculators. So 80 points available on qualifying heat race night, plus your 10 bonus for qualifying, 10 through 1 points, depending on where you land in qualifying. And then, of course, you get a fast lap bonus, and that's really, really important in this point structure. So, again, pick a car that you can put, usually it's got to be about 605 or below, where you can put some soft tires if you have a problem. Come in there and try to get that fast lap. So, but if you want to really push it, you can run one of these cars that's right at the limit, and they seem to be faster, so just keep that in mind. So, all right, on to the next one past the Mazda there. The Mazda I mentioned does require a lot of mods, engine mods, but it is all-wheel drive, so it should be a pretty good car as far as actually racing in. It may not show up on the performance points, but racing should be pretty well. The M2 here does require a lot of restrictions, so it just doesn't seem to quite get there. But it should be a pretty good driving car. The A110, again, is, because of the weight issue you had to add on this car, which weight is its advantage, this one kind of falls down under the 590 level. The Camaro, we were able to figure it out. I was able to squish some of these higher power cars in because of the percentages. But 613.45, that car should be pretty competitive in HECS form, but you're going to be pretty much restricted, max restrictions on the power restrictor and the ECU, so that could affect its performance in some cases. Now, I went ahead and built this 86 GT Limited. These are here. The GRs are faster, I think, but this car seemed to drive pretty good. It's always been a good driving car, even in Group 4 form. But as always, lower torque engine like an RX, you know, like a rotary. So just keep that in mind. The Clio and the RCZ, this particular Civic, and these two here, and then all the way actually down to here, the 2.8s, all kind of restricted in their performance points because of the additional weight we had to add. So we may come to Summer Series, we may drop the weight here on the HECS, but I don't want to get it to where some cars can't get into the category, because I still want to be able to add ballast to these cars. So Mustang, again, just like the Camaro, we were able to get it, but it suffers because of its, they attribute a lot of drag to this car, so for some reason it disproportionately hurts its performance points. But that's just them, God knows when they sim this car. So the TT cars are all pretty good, but especially the Crown here, to note that this car, you could build a cup car in the Crown, but not be able to run it in HECS form. Now,
you told me we are getting serious, so I'm stepping up my game. I'm still working on getting the domain name for my team PO. That's the NO.
I gotcha, man. Yes, I do want to make this more serious, and I still want to keep the casual guys that aren't as worried about running for points. But I do really want to kind of step it up to the next level, because I enjoy doing this, and it's an investment of time. So if I'm going to do it, might as well do it right. But going back to the Mustang, the Camaro, and then later, if I've got it in here, I thought I had the Viper. I bought a new Viper. Did I do something with it? Maybe I adjusted it afterwards. We'll take a look at that. It's probably actually in the list here. So the Viper, the Camaro, the Mustang, you could run those as a cup car and as a HECS by just swapping over the transmission and the brakes. So it'd be a little bit of work, but but it wouldn't be that bad. And then you just gotta adjust the settings. So there's plenty of videos out there if anybody wants to do that. Just message me if you got a question. I can explain it further. But the crown here, this one you would not be able to do from a Cup car to a HECS, because this one keeps the stock engine. Remember, the crown Cup car switches over to the SC430 racing engine. So you have to do a swap on that for the Cup car. So that's one of the unique ones in here we got to point out. The other cars are all pretty straightforward. Add everything on that makes it an HECS spec car, and then you just change a couple of things in the settings to get it to the HECS spec or the Cup car spec. So that's the Crown Athlete. And then the AMG 13, this one, again, you have to add some weight, so it kind of hurts it, but this one does have a 7-speed, if that helps somebody understand that. Make something you can spend a lot of time adjusting, because we don't allow individual gear adjustments, but when you're dealing with adjustments, being able to switch your top speed on the manual transmission in these HECS cars, this car with the more gears might give you a couple options where you can run it, 6th gear is your top gear or 7th gear is your top gear. Same thing with the Crown. This one has, I think, 8 speeds actually. Now the Genesis Coupe, this car should be stronger than it is, but I think it's just, again, how the game does it with the HECS spec, so it's under 600. The RX-8 Spirit, this one, pretty good, 613.10. Anytime you see that pushing the limits, like like some of these cars down here. And again, the Megane, the DS3, which is basically the same as the Peugeot. This one, these are hurt again by adding the weight. So again, that's why I'm considering dropping weight on some of these. But the Scirocco comes in under a really good number, so it's at 613 on the performance points. And then all 3 TTs are pretty good. I built all 3, and you'll see them as we go through the list. We already did the 14 up here. They're all within like a point of each other on the performance points, HECS spec. The Me Too, again, hurt by adding the weight, just like the DS3, the Megane RS. Megane RS not hit as bad because it's right in the wheelhouse, but the GTI by Peugeot up there in the top corner, that car hurt again. This one hurt because you add so much weight to it. This is a really good car, the 08Z. And then you can see that was at 615.71. Again, limited to what you can set them at because of the high performance points to keep it under that 616. You're probably going to have to run more rear aero and less front aero on these cars, just so you guys know. 3 pretty different tracks we're running, or 4 pretty different tracks we're running at, with a topless Barcelona, Willow, and it's going to be Big Willow, by the way, Willow Springs, Big Willow, and Mount Panorama. So those are very different tracks. So it's going to be pretty important, a topless and Mount Panorama, for having, pretty precise. And then you got Barcelona, which is kind of all over the place, and then Big Willow, which is a lot of high speed cornering and then slow speed cornering. So you got big differences there. But this is the 07Z. Again, this is a 350Z here in the US, and then the 08 up there in the top corner, that's the 370Z. Those are the 2 different VQ engines, just a different version of them. The 07 R8, I did not try to build the 10, but I'm sure or the 16 or whatever the newer one is. This is the original one with the blades, the side blades that you could get in different colors. This particular one, pretty good when it's in HECS form, even though it's super restricted. The Lancer 9 here, and again, almost all the Lancers and the WRXs are the same because of the restrictions we have to put on them. Another kind of unique one here is the Mini Cooper, because this is the only one I allow a supercharger. And see all of my videos, just type, look on the HSSR spec. The Impreza Sedan 04, again, these are all pretty similar numbers-wise. The DeLorean I just kind of built for fun, but it's actually would probably be a pretty good car for vintage. And then the M303 pushes the PP limit, so this car should be very good for you, but you're going to be limited what you can adjust. This is the other TT Coupe. Again, they're all within like a 1.5 or 2 points of each other, but all three of them are within 1 point of each other. So this one's the highest rated one, but this is the VR6 engine. So that one is naturally aspirated. So this, I like naturally aspirated better. It just seems to be less peaky when you're trying to be precise, especially with my pedal problems. Why I got my pedals so restricted. But again, all three versions of the Skyline GTR, the R34, 33, and 32, are all around the same. The R34, again, was quite restricted to be in these numbers, but should be a good car. I like to say these cars, even though some of these cars they're all at 2,800 pounds, some of them seem heavy. And you know what I mean, but they drive heavy. So you just keep that in mind. And then the Silvia, this is one of our original spec cars, right at the 600 mark. So this car should be pretty good to drive. It's always easy to drive and manageable, so that's something to keep in mind there. The RX-7, another car that is high on the performance points level. This again I think one of our originals. This might have actually been one we added in because the RX-8 was one of the originals. The Viper, again, thanks to Demon for helping us develop that. 61225 on that one. So this one, when you get it restricted down, it's pretty potent. So it should be a pretty good car. Just getting that gearing right would be on that car because it's more torquey than horsepower. This car here, the NSX Type R, has been very good. Adam's pretty much his favorite. And then we got the Tuscan Speed 6, which I found out actually being a pretty good car because I always like these cars. They got kind of a weird gauge readout for somebody like me that's always done cockpit or now VR, but it's actually a pretty good driving car. It's basically, they're basically a race car. They're a tube chassis, more or less, car with a fiberglass body. So very similar to like a Viper, as far as their, how they go. And TVR's always done those type of cars. So again, here's your Impreza 99, and again, this one really hurt on the performance points because you have to add so much weight to it. And this particular version, the two-door here, actually had a pretty light weight on it compared to the newer ones. S2000, always a good car to drive. A little bit restricted in this form, but drives very, very well. I really enjoy that car. The Salady, basically the same as the the 240 here in the U.S. I think they were called the S13 model. And right below it, the 180SX. They're basically the same car. Little bit difference in how we approach them, so see the videos on those. The engines on these, I think I built them two different ways. That's why these cars are different. So you can see the videos on that. There's a couple of videos where I go through every single car, so you can, and it's been tagged by a Zippy, and thank you again, Zippy, for doing that. The Salady, the 180SX, getting through there, and you can get the differences. I think this one I did stroke up, and this one I did bore up, but I could have that completely inverted. Built so many of these cars, it's hard to keep them straight. The Lancer 5, that is another one, and again, all these Lancers, whichever generation you build, are going to be pretty much the same. You got to add all the horsepower stuff, restrict it, add all the bolt-ons, restrict it, and then get the weight right. So they'll land in various areas of the probably 575 to 605 maybe, depending on which one you build there. So Super Mark IV, another car high on the performance points marks. That should be a good car to drive. This one, basically, you just have to restrict it a lot. That's why it's not at the top of the chart. Because the 2J, I think, is 320 from the factory, so we're restricting it quite a bit. Mr. 2 here, this one of our original spec cars, and it should be a pretty good car if you know how to drive them. They're really actually pretty good cars, but mid-engine cars, especially the lighter weight ones like this that are high power, can be a little tricky. This is a small car, so it's a short wheelbase. Now, you can see your two GTRs here. If we peek up here at the R34 and the R33, both right at the 605 area. R33 actually ranks a little higher, but again, I've got all these cars set to a specific setting. But any of those should be good cars. They're just going to be a little restricted because of the fact that we had to drop the power on them. The Sylvia K's, again, right? These three here, basically similar cars. This is the new generation. The car that was sold here is the 240. And then in our form, it's at 595. So roughly 595. So all these cars are within, less than 13 points difference here between these three Nissans. Very similar, same engine on all the cars. So just how you approach the build on it. The 911 here, this one barely makes it under the mark, so pay attention to the spoiler. It basically is, what do we describe that as, a couch on top of a boat fuselage for the wing, but that's the one to use. And again, there's a couple of cars like the NSX, this one, and I think it's the Cosworth that don't allow you to put the proper wing on. All these things take a medium 22 wing or a type AB wing on the hatchbacks. So whichever one looks like the medium 22 wing on the hatchbacks. The R32 V-Spec, that's the R32. Again, that one is right within 5 numbers of the other two gens of 60448, 60449, and 600.01. These all should be good cars to drive. Celica GT4, if you can tune it, you probably have to spend a little bit more time trying to tweak this one, but it should be a good car. That was one of our original spec cars. The 92 NSX Type R should be very good as well. That one, again, pushing the 616 limit. The Mitsubishi GTO, or what's sold here as the Dodge Stealth RT, and the Mitsubishi G3000 GT VR4 in the US. That car should be another good one to drive. All-wheel drive, restricted, so that hurts its performance points numbers. The 190 Evolution Mercedes, again, another car that should be good to drive, 605. The Delta, this one Zippy drove pretty successfully in the Winter Sprint Series when we ran these spec cars. The original, what spawned the HSSR cars. This car, of course, hurt by the weight addition with all the power restriction, because it was right there before, and we kind of added a little weight and restricted the power quite a bit. So I know not Zippy, but Makoto's favorite. I just was saying Zippy was driving the Delta. One of Makoto's favorites here, the RX-7 GTX FC, right at that 600 mark. And the M3 Sport Evolution here, this one should be a good car, but in HISR form it is restricted a little bit. So, but it is a very good driving car. Thanks to John Hendrickman, Rainbow Warriors, for finding out that this car actually fit in the spec. So the ZR1C4, 61563. Our final Z car, well, not really, because we still got the Fugu Z, but that thing's kind of restricted. The Fairlady Z300ZX, that's another one that's very strong. The Supras that I run, I've got 2 of them here because I usually set one up one way and one up another. High downforce, low downforce, depending on where we're at. Right now they're set evenly. As you see, I got one with blue numbers and blue wing, and then one with the red numbers and the red wing and, red mirrors. Both have the blue wings. So here's the Cosworth I was talking about. Now this one does require a special spoiler on it, on the back, because it doesn't allow the medium 22 or the other type. So that should be a good car. That's a fun car. It is rear-wheel drive. A lot of people think that's front-wheel drive, but it is a rear-drive car. So that should be a good one to drive. And don't forget, we're having a vintage race at Goodwood in the summer. So we'll have pre-1980s cars. So that's going to be starting right in this category right here. And then 80 to 2000. And then, as mentioned before, any of the 99 and 2000 cars right here. The Tuscan, the Impreza, and the S2000 can all be used in both the 2000 and up and 2000 or up to 2000 categories. So we'll have 80s to 2000, post 2000 and up. So basically year 2000 and up. And again, the 99 can be used in there. And then we'll have the, as mentioned, the 80s to 2000. So all these cars in this category, up to the Cosworth, would be in the 80s to 2000 category. And that'll be the vintage races at Goodwood. Again, we'll be running 3 races, the 3 different age categories. Again, pre-1980s, 1980 to 2000, and then 2000 and to modern. All right, so this Firebird Trans Am, basically the same car we ran the Trans Am series in, but with all the HSSR mods, and then restricted on the... actually, the power wasn't... I don't think we had to restrict the power, but the weight... dropped the weight down, almost 800 pounds less. So this car should be... If you drove it well in the Trans Am series, it should drive well in ours. The 308 GTB 75, I was able to get that figured out. Remember, we had a problem with that one. And that one seems like it's a pretty good car. I've driven that in challenges. The one that I had to restrict anyway. Or the one that had the screw up with the glitch. And I bought it, and the weight... I did weight reduction on it, but it was already at max ballast, which was really weird. So I ended up screwing up. And you'll see that car's down farther in my list here because I've used it in challenges. The 3.0 CSL73. Again, these cars are all really tight. If you look at the numbers. 8901, 8977, 8996. And I built the CSL because it was more of a sport version. There's a 71 model as well you could probably do the same mods on. The Fugu Z, which is the same car we ran in the Winter Sprint Series this year. That one hurt a little bit by the HSSR specs because it was 295 horse, I think, and like 2,500 pounds. So we're restricting the power and adding weight, so it dropped its performance points. Still might be a good car to drive because it drives very well. The Mustang Mach 1 in here, this one fit in the category pretty well, but again, these older cars, make sure you're checking your ride height. Because if they're dropped too far, they'll rub. That's what I've noticed is with the wide body and the wide tires, a lot of them have rubbed. So just be careful setting those up. The Superbird 1970, I did not wide body this car because I was using it. You can wide body if you want. You don't have to in this particular car because the tires are already tucked up underneath it because it was an aero car. This Skyline here was pretty much maxed out on the engine. So just keep that in mind. And then I think we had to add weight, so that's why its performance point numbers are down. Super B, again, kind of restricted on the engine. That's why the performance points numbers are down. But that actually car drove pretty darn good. This one I haven't driven, but I went ahead and built it once it popped back up in the classics. Seems like it's right in the middle on all these vintage cars. So should be a pretty good one. And I can't imagine Keith not driving that car. The Mustang Mach Boss, or the Boss 429, I mean. This one, really good car. Actually, I ran it along with like the other, the Corvette Stingray 969. Those are pretty competitive even with most of the other HECS cars. So just something to keep in mind there. You just don't get the aero on these older cars. And again, you got to watch those ride heights. This Mangusta I built, there's a couple of different versions of De Tomasos. They should all be pretty similar building them into SSSR spec. I did not do them all because they're kind of pricey. But just keep that in mind. That's another option for you if you like a mid-engine car in the vintage. The Corvette Stingray, this again, pretty competitive regardless, this car here. I think if you played with it enough, you could probably get it really competitive. It does come with these... I think all of these older cars, when you put the custom manual transmission, fully customizable manual, they all end up giving you an extra gear, so you get 5 speeds in them. Same thing in the Z28 here. I think the only thing that really hurts these cars is they don't have the aero ads on the front that some of the newer ones do. Same thing with your 2000 GT. Again, this one, don't ignore. I was using this in challenge just to see how to drive it, so its performance points would be a little less, and I don't want to jump into it because it'll screw up my setup here and having these cars all in order. So the 2000 GT, again, pretty expensive car to build and get into spec. So you'd have to add weight to it. That's why it kind of hurts it. GT350, this car was right at the weight, so this car rings around quite a bit of restriction on the engine, but pretty good car overall. Same thing with the 63 C3, or C2 Corvette. It is the split window version, and my car was pretty competitive. I think if you messed around with it, you could make it pretty competitive with the normal ones. The E-Type Coupe, another car you can't wide body, and there's a few of them in here, but Superbird you could, but I didn't because I was running it with the challenges. So we could wide body that car. I don't know if it'd make it any more worth any more as far as the performance points. But the E-Type here, again, probably one of the prettiest cars ever made, that's for sure. As far as design and overall aesthetics. That one, again, kind of down on the numbers because you're having to add weight to it. That was a lightweight car. The Wicked Fabrication GT, this is the Lincoln. This one fits in the spec, but I don't know how competitive it would be. You'd probably be struggling a little bit with that thing. But it's there. And the Willys, I wouldn't bother. I just, again, built this thing for fun. So here's that 308 GTB that I had built as a spec car. So this is set up for challenges. And so it's been a pretty fun car to drive when you can't drive anything but like a European car. So I think that brings me through this whole list. And again, the Cayman GT4 we could not get in spec, so that's not going to be allowed in the HECS unless you absolutely have to drive it, but you're going to be restricted. Okay, I'm not going to let it be a ringer. It doesn't fit the wheel and tire category. It doesn't fit in the horsepower spec or in the performance point spec the way it's set up. So I really don't want to allow it. But if somebody does it and they want to risk it, they're going to be restricted on it quite considerably. So. And you see all of our Cup cars here. We did add in the C714 as we've allowed some more cars in here like the Viper. Which all these cars seem to be pretty competitive at Daytona. So we'll be running those again come up. I think it's going to be Watkins Glen for Memorial Day weekend for part of our Spring Series Championship. So take a look at the Cup car list here. Again, starting right here. Working our way through all the way down to the M307. And that is our full list of our HECS spec cars. As you see, the Tundras here for the and the Raptor for the Craftsman trucks. We may run those again later in the year at one of the Daytona races. So somehow this M4 is not in my list. I don't know why. I'm not going to reset the whole thing, but that is a it's SSR spec, so that's a HISR spec car. Not in my list, so I apologize I missed that in there, the 14 M4. Next time I reset the list, I'll have it, make sure it's in there. And then that brings us to the last exception, and that is the Supra RZ, as I mentioned before. You see the horsepower on this car, and I'm going to jump actually right in it and show you why.
Well, I appears to be in trouble. Gotta take care of things. See you later, slightly smiling face.
Okay, good luck, man. I think I know what you mean. So, alright, as mentioned, we can't get this car in the spec under the performance points, because when I add the power to get it to the, I think it's, 254 horse, even, even there, it doesn't make it. See, it's 616.43. It's very close. You might be able to add aero. Yeah, you can add aero, but it's not worth it when you can build it with the 2J. So I don't want to even mess around with it. If somebody's got one and they build it already and they want to try to get it, just let me know. But at this point, I don't really want... See, that still makes it, but you got to add so much rear downforce that wouldn't be practical at certain tracks. And you can do the 2J, and it fits in the category pretty easily. So, just giving you guys a know-how what's going on there. Again, that's kind of a restricted car, but if you want to run it, just let me know. Just reach out to me because I'm not going to pre-approve it otherwise, unless you get the 2J build. All right, well, that's it for that. Let's go ahead and jump over here and let's check out these replays because these are really short races. And I still got to do, which I might just hang up. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night. I still got to do the broadcast that I did, but it didn't take, of the RJP Memorial 400K. I went on and did all of these races, all 6 of these races. And for some reason it wasn't broadcasting and I didn't check it. So that's what happens when you sign on when you're tired and just trying to get it done. Alright, let's take a look first at my first race in the Nation Cup here. Today, I think I tried to get on at 1, but I didn't realize. I kind of lost track of time, was getting ready for the cleaning up and getting ready for the birthday deal we had here for my kid and my mom. Again, happy birthday to Prince Pit Dog III, Jay. It's going to be 14 tomorrow, and then my mother, they share a birthday. Mother's going to be 76. So let's go ahead and run this replay. Here we go. This should be a cool view, actually, because I'm used to this one. This is similar to my VR view. I think it's stuck. Let's try it again. Well, that's not good. There we go. Well, that took a while. What were we at? How far are we in right now? Minute 14? Never seen that. Alright, here we go. This is a Nations Cup race from earlier today. Go through the field here. I love watching the suspension articulate and stuff on these things. Well, he almost got me there. Little crossover move there, but then he came off there and nailed me. That threw me off. I was like, I think I was talking to, no, I was just kind of explaining my way through it, and well, that's not what you do when you're on the outside. Oh, Hypercat's the one that nailed me in this race. Hey, how's it going? Just kind of reviewing my status of this race today. They're going through the... Somebody got me in this one. I wanted to say... Oh no, it was that one. Okay, my mistake. I think I said Project D. It was actually the no nickname one. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. So now these guys caught me, so that's what it was. That's what caused me the problem. I think... Oh, yes, yes. Yep. Yes, now I do. Yes, thanks for the reminder, because it takes a little bit to jog my memory. I think there's a whole group of us, if now I do remember this. I think Hypercat got into me. I was right about remembering that. I think it's later on here. Because we catch this whole group in front. You can see him in the mirror there. Yeah, we reeled this group in and everybody reeled everybody in, so I think that was like all the way up to like 8th place or something. You can see he's right next to me now. Gets by me there. Makes a mistake or something somewhere. Maybe it's next lap. I think I get by him on the straightaway. But going through here, we ended up catching the whole group in front of us, and I want to see what happens here. I remember getting together, but I don't remember the full details here, what happened. Really wish we could have our suits and our hats during these Nations races. But I get it, that's something they can save memory on. I don't even notice these yellow frags when we're racing. Yeah, see, I get him here in the straightaway. As we catch these other guys. I don't realize how little these cars are. And they're a glorified go-kart with a V12 in them. That's where he got me, right there. Looks like he kind of gave me the spot back there. I went defensive here. Taking the inside, took a shallow entry. Ran the corner slow. Oh, that's what it is right here. I'm defensive, but he tries to stick his nose in there and nails me. That's what it was. Then I got reset. So, okay, so it wasn't... I thought we were running for like 9th at that time. But it wasn't as close as I thought it was. I thought there was a couple of cars right there and we were going to set them up. Yeah, see, there's just one car. Then, well, there's one up there, I guess, but... Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty significant, pretty significant punt there. He really didn't try. That's what I really wanted to watch for. So I ended up 13th on that one. This race was really good, though, this next one here. And I had fun in the last one, but screwed myself on that one. I guess we're going to have to skip here. There we go. Yeah, another minute, a minute 10 before it started moving us. Alright, so we started, had a really good quali run. I mean, this was a tight field. I think it was like a 1.040 between 1st and 11th. Taking it easy on the cold tires here. Some guys pushing it. Three wide. I didn't realize we were 3 wide there. Oh, shoot. Again, lap 1, I'm always conservative on these hard tires, because it takes a while to get... Look at them. Look at how close everybody is. This was a fun race. It's a heck of a race here. Thing I noticed was staying off the curbs to keep the car stable. Look how tight the whole field still is. Jeez. You know, I can see around me, you know, immediately around me, but I didn't realize that everybody was so close. I went defensive there, run right on the seam. Jib's kind of checking out there in the front a little bit, from considering how tight the field is. Whoa, man, they got together there. That was a good save. Back there behind me there. Oh, he came back and got him. Man, they still both hung on to... Oh. See, Sluggin took himself out there. Let's go back and watch that again. Alright, let's see what happens here. I think they get together. No, Sluggin went a little wide there. Managed to get it back under control. I'm surprised they didn't get a penalty. But then, I don't think Panda knew they were there. But then I think he kind of dive bombed Panda there. I don't know, I'm just assuming. Then took himself out, so... Let's go back to the front and work our way back. And we'll go back to where that happened. Now, Jay Malahan here... They were fast times, so they were pretty fast, so... Let's kind of keep an eye on them right now. They got through this mess. Up to 5th, and then they come up and get me by the end of the race here, so... But he's going to work on catching me, so let's stay here, because this gets kind of exciting here. As I catch Jean-Paul here. Take a look at the gap right there between Malahan and me on lap 3. This is a fun battle here. He's just sneaking over there, getting him away. I was definitely faster, but he did a better job keeping me behind him. Had a shot here, I could have dive bombed it, but I kind of settled back in and took the corner, the optimum corner instead. A little tap in the brake there. A little tap dance on the brake. Remember, Jay Malahan there behind me was our fast qualifier, so... I was .350 off his time, I remember that. Was exactly. Look at the run I got here. I decided not to push it. Three cars under a blanket here. And again, if you're ever watching my stream and you bump me and I swear at you, Don't worry, it's just me being emotional. I dropped quite a few bombs. These are not kid videos. So we're going here to get the white flag here. 1 lap to go. Oh, that's where he got me. It didn't hurt me too bad, but really I think lost my opportunity to get Jean-Paul because I was really setting him up for an over-under there going into turn 1. And I went defensive here again. You see I'm running right about on the seam. Saw I had clearance, so went back up and got my optimal entry there. Whoops, somebody lost it there. Let's see. Let's watch that. I think they lose it going in. They went in a little too hard. Yeah, look at that. This car does not like to be pushed past the limit there. It doesn't understeer. It just gets completely out of control. See him looping off there in the open area. I got super conservative in here, and I think this is where Jay gets me. I don't remember exactly for sure. But he does get by me, and yeah, it's because I went conservative here trying to hold my line. And he got a great run off the corner there. Tried to push it on the outside, but just not enough room. I didn't want to pinch him off there. And then we just cruise on to the... Oh, that's right, he hit the wall. I did make a run at him here. That's right, watch this. I forgot I did make a run at him here. As he slides it through the corner, man, he was pushing it. That was a fun race. See what Darth did here. Little cat and mouse there. That was a fun race. Congrats to Jibs there on that, and Jean-Paul. So, alright, with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Again, thank everybody for watching. Don't forget HECS next weekend, Friday and Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And just to get yourself a mark on what time it is right now, we're at 23:36, so it's 11:36 Central Daylight Time, so 2.5 hours before now. So wherever you're at, mark your time. Usually it takes us about 15 to 20 minutes to get everything squared away once everybody's in the room. So usually get racing right around 9:30. We're going to run 4 races, so I'm going to try to move things along as fast as I can. There'll be probably, I'll figure out the laps on all these tracks to where we're going to be at somewhere around 12 to 15 minutes for our qualifying heat race, and we'll probably be 25 minutes roughly on the main races. So we'll try to get it as fast as we can, so less than a couple hours worth of racing, and hopefully we can get that done within 2.5 to 3 hours both nights. So Qualifying heat races go a lot faster, especially if they're 15 minutes, because we'll be able to get the racing done in roughly an hour, but we probably have, usually the first night, it's a little getting everybody set up, getting all the miscellaneous stuff lined up. Usually takes us a little bit longer to get racing. That's why I run those races roughly 50 to 60%. And again, my goal is going to be about 15 minutes, but I don't like the way the game separates the timing on the races, so I try to run them by laps. And I just figure out roughly where we're running on lap times, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to have some practices coming up this week. I can't think of anything else too important. Again, that's the 26th and 27th. And then our next event will be on the 10th and the 11th, I think, of May. And I posted that up in the PlayStation chat. So let me see, because I do have everything right over here. Oh, you know what? No, I actually took that calendar with me, so I don't actually have it handy. Everything's in a folder here that I keep. But actually, I don't have the calendar handy, but it's like 2 weeks from this next weekend. Let me just pull my calendar up on my phone here. Yeah, so it's May 10th and 11th. And then I'll be at the Joe Shear Memorial at Madison International Speedway in just outside of Madison, Wisconsin, on the 12th for the Joe Shear Memorial. I was one of the world's biggest Joe Shear fans when he was alive, all the way up to the 90s when I was a kid. Local short track legend, kind of a Midwest short track legend guy. Fabricator, car builder, and driver. Won I think 6 in a row. Track championships at the Rockford Speedway, several I think at Madison. Won the ARCO championship a couple of times. Midwestern Series, ran very limited ASA races, but won a big race on national TV on the Milwaukee Mile. Again, ran everything out of himself, did it his way. He didn't like the politics of having big sponsors and stuff, but his son, Joe Shear Jr., is actually the crew chief for Ty Majeski, another Midwest short track ace that's running the truck series. I think they run the 98 truck, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I like Ty. He's a good guy. And Joe Jr., I had some conversations with him. It was funny. He's very matter of fact if you ever see him on the on the broadcasts. He's always been very kind of blunt. I would say blunt. Let's say blunt. His dad was really quiet and reserved in that until he got back from cancer. He had cancer and then beat it at first. But then he had it come back there and passed away. I think it was January of '98. His last race, he won his last race at Rockford. His last win. I think he was actually leading at La Crosse. And that was when it was, I think it was, by that time it was the Remax Challenge Series, but it might have been still ARTGO, I'm not sure. But, great guy. Real quiet, reserved guy. A second-generation driver. His dad drove in the 40s and 50s. And then he won track championships in the Rockford Speedway in the 60s, I think. Into the 70s. Yeah, and I did run a tribute to him in one of the series we had. I think it was the Fall Invitational Series where we ran the Group 2 and Group 4 cars. So just kind of a little brief history there on Joe Shear, his family. I don't know where it came from, but somehow my dad and my uncle knew somebody that was related to him. I don't remember the whole story, and I probably should talk to my uncle about that because we're going to the race together up there in Madison. So, anyway, thanks again, everybody. I'll try to get on. Probably won't be tomorrow night, knowing we got what all we got going on. So it might be Monday night or Tuesday night. We're doing things for my kid's birthday all this week. I went out and took my mom out last night My sister went to a concert, so I took my mom out, and we had dinner, and then took her out for ice cream, and then I mowed their yard, and then we watched a movie, so it was pretty cool. But my sister didn't get back till like 1 o'clock, so I didn't actually get back to their house, my parents' house, to get things cleaned up and ready to go until like, it was like 1:45, so I just stayed out there. I wasn't going to drive home with the closing time crowd on 2-lane roads. Not at that point. At that point, we're good to go. That's a good-looking car. I actually kind of like that Vision Mercedes. Let's see. Anything else we need to talk to? I don't think there's anything. Again, make sure you have at least 2 HSS cars if you're racing with us next week. I'm going to go on and do an announcement video of that probably. Maybe I might be able to sneak that in tomorrow. But tomorrow is my kid's birthday, so he's got a whole day planned out for us. So we'll be busy all day. So, again, thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate everybody coming on. We're really pushing towards that 500 subscriber mark. We kind of got over that 390 hump where we were on there for about a year and a half or so. So now we're over 400, and I thank each and every one of you. I am going to work on getting the KPD Raw site up, because I've got to clear stuff off my phone, and I just can't. For some reason, I took 2,000 photos off there and only gave me like 10 gigabytes of space. That didn't seem like enough. So, anyway, thank you all. Again, we'll be back on again and get some practice in this week, and then we'll try to get in that that RJP Memorial 400K again. I don't know why that didn't broadcast, but at least I still have them. Because I'm going to have to delete those because they're taking up too much space, and the way GT does this, they don't let you anything over 200 megabytes. They don't let you don't let you share, which is kind of dumb. I could see like 250, but 200 is, you can't even do like a 45-minute race if you got a full field. So I think that's everything. Again, HECS, if you want to join us, let me know. I will put my screen up here real quick. It's really easy because it's both my nickname and my main name, KingPittdawg, and that's my gaming name across pretty much everything I game on. Game of Thrones. I still have Mobile Strike on there, but I don't think I've logged into that for a year. I should probably do that, make sure it doesn't get deleted. There were some other things too, but most everything else I've tried to go under Kevin P or Kevin P KPD or Kevin King KPD, something like that. But I've tried to kind of pull everything back. My Instagram is Kevin P _KPD. So I've tried to keep as much tied in as I can together. Because some things don't let you do them a certain way. I can't remember what else Discord, I am on there under KingPittdawg, and then my server is, I think, KPD's Doghouse, DAWGHOUZ. But I do not handle Discord very well. I just don't. I think it's kind of a fairly bad program, to be honest with you. But some people like it. Everybody has their opinions. And I don't fault anybody for that. So, that's it for now. Thanks, everybody. Until next time, KingPittdawg out.